Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 15 and compare it against the iPhone 11 and see which particular iPhone is a better one for you. Now, both these iPhones are very interesting. I probably would recommend buying the 15 over the 11, but if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the iPhone 11 that came out in 2019 on the front has a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel on the front. Now, it's definitely not the best panel in the world, but it was an okay panel at the time. It was a good panel at the time. But you can see how dated this thing kind of looks now. We have the notch, we have pretty thick bezels around it. But I remember for many years I looked at this phone and I was pretty happy with it. And even now it's still like not a bad phone. Like if you can buy this thing for like a couple $100s, it's definitely a decent device. But the front display, I mean, it's definitely not the best looking thing anymore. And as more and more phones come out, we're starting to see how much like more dated these types of displays kind of look, especially with an IPS panel like this one. With the iPhone 15 Pro, on the other hand, you basically have on this device a very good display. It's a 6.1-inch panel again, but this one is a Retina XDR panel. So it's an OLED display. It looks very good. Like I am a massive fan of the way this specific phone looks like. And you're getting the dynamic island at the very top. You're getting still a 60 hertz panel, but it's a pretty decent, smooth 60 hertz panel as well. And I'm a big fan of the way this specific panel looks like. So at the end of the day, this is a very good looking phone. And it's definitely one of my most favorite phones, for sure, that Apple's made this year. It's one of the only phones Apple's made this year, but on the front, definitely the iPhone 15 looks better. In terms of thickness and thickness, funny enough, the iPhone 11 is actually overall it's a bigger phone in general, and I think a thicker phone than the iPhone 15, but it's kind of tough because the iPhone 11 is a little curved. The iPhone 15 is actually slightly curved as well, and I actually do like the design of the iPhone 15 a lot more than the iPhone 11. Both have volume buttons. The iPhone 11 has a SIM card tray slot, which is really nice. But at the bottom, this is a pretty big difference. You're getting USB-C at the bottom of the iPhone 15, where the iPhone 11 has Lightning. You may prefer one over the other one. I actually do prefer USB-C, but Lightning is still, okay for now. It's like the transition period. So between both, I definitely would say the iPhone 11 is, a little bit more dated here too. USB-C is very nice, and I love having USB-C on the iPhone 15. On the back, slight differences here as well. So with the iPhone 11, you're getting this dual camera setup top and bottom, standard glass on the back. The iPhone 15, you're getting this frosted glass back, which I actually like a lot. I think frosted glass backs are very nice, and this one feels fairly good for the most part. It's definitely a pretty big difference here, and you can see if I kind of touch the iPhone 11, there's going to be fingerprints everywhere. The 15, not really, which is so nice, and it feels definitely so much better. You're having that MagSafe capability here too, so you can use MagSafe accessories with the iPhone 15. iPhone 11 just has wireless charging. They both have wireless charging. IP certification, lots of similarities between both for sure, but I definitely would tell you that between both, the iPhone 15 I think is definitely the one that's far better than the iPhone 11 in my opinion, in terms of build quality and just the exterior, but the iPhone 11 still looks fairly good for the most part as well. So that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of software and longevity, the iPhone 11 currently right now is on iOS 17, which is amazing, but like I've stated for many years now, I mean with something like the iPhone 11, it's not really going to be a device that's going to be here for much longer. I think if like another 2 versions of software, but Apple's already stripping some features away on these iOS versions. So like the iPhone 12 is getting all the features and the iPhone 11 is not getting as many, which is kind of unfortunate that I've kind of seen that before. But again, that's kind of one thing. If you're wanting the phone that's going to last the longest amount of time between these two, the iPhone 15 by far is going to be the one that I would probably recommend majority of people to go ahead and buy. It's going to be the phone that's going to last longer here for sure. So that kind of covers it up there as well. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 15 has that Apple A16 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigs of RAM, where the iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are clear in the background. 15 is here, 11 is here. Let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, music 3, 2, 1. Okay, some differences here too. 2 different panels. App Store 3, 2, 1. So I don't know why the iPhone 11 is not connected to the internet. That's like so dumb. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Let's take a photo, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this one did take out night mode, so it's not necessarily faster, but that's just one thing to keep in mind. Let's get into photos, 3, 2, 1. Okay, not really that big of a difference here. Hopping out of here. Let's get into mail, 3, 2, 1. Okay, roughly like around the same thing. Health, 3, 2, 1. Okay, iPhone 15 slightly faster. We do have some third-party applications we'll go ahead and open up. So let's get into it. Let's go and try Snake versus blocks. 3, 2, 1. Now this is a kind of a, it's not a big game, but it is one that probably some people have played. And you can see the iPhone 15 was faster. Getting into some gameplay, let's see if there's any glitches, and there's usually some glitches in the beginning. Both are actually performing fairly well. The iPhone 11 is on iOS 17, by the way, and both are doing fairly well there. Let's get into Thank You. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 15, I think, was the faster one there as well. I think the 15 is going to be the faster one every single time. But honestly, there are some cases where the iPhone 11, it's not faster, but it's still fairly smooth. Let's go and try something like Netflix. 3, 2, 1. This one's not going to work because it's not on internet. Let's go and try Facebook. 3, 2, 1. I think this one is logged in too. So it is. So let's hop out of that one. Stack. 3, 2, 1. And I think the iPhone 15 was the faster one, at least to load into the ad, getting into some gameplay. Let's see if there's any glitches on both. And I don't really think there's going to be massive glitches. But honestly, the iPhone 11 is doing very, very decent. I was expecting the iPhone 11 not to do as well. It's actually doing pretty decent. I want to load up like iMovie, for example. iMovie is a pretty big application. I don't even know where this app is. I know I have it somewhere. And I guess I don't even have it. But we can try opening up an application like Genshin Impact so we can get into the loading panel. I know I have Genshin Impact here somewhere, but I'll never know where it is. It's probably in this last panel here. 3, 2, 1. Of course, we get into these pop-ups right now. Of course, we get into that pop-up as well. But even then, the iPhone 15 is still doing pretty good here. Very happy about that. And the iPhone 15 was the faster one. The iPhone 11, a little bit slower. But again, not the biggest deal in the world. We'd have a network error that kind of timed out there. So I definitely do think that between both, the iPhone 11, surprised me today. It definitely wasn't faster than the iPhone 15, but I'm actually fairly surprised about how good of a job the iPhone 11 did today. With an older chipset, with this phone being so much older, less RAM, I definitely did think that a phone like the iPhone 15 would just run circles around the iPhone 11, and I don't really see that. Like, I see the iPhone 11 still performing very well against the iPhone 15, even on a software like iOS 17, which is pretty crazy. So it's a much cheaper phone here. It's a much older phone, but performance-wise, kind of some similarity, which is very interesting. Now, in the camera department, this is another interesting thing if I can move these phones. Between both, they have the same type of lens, so they both have dual camera setups, but the 15 camera is definitely better here. You're getting a wide camera and an ultra-wide lens, which is very nice. Again, having that type of capability is really cool. So, 4K at 60 on the front and the back between both, which is really nice to have. So you have that type of capability of, zooming out 0.5x. You have, the 5x zoom, standard stuff. You have portrait mode, you have video mode. You are lacking cinematic mode on this phone, which is one of the cool features the 15 has. It debuted with the 13. And with this phone, it's a good camera. It never was like the best camera in the world, but it's a solid lens for what you're getting. With the iPhone 15, this is a much better camera for sure. So for starters, you're getting just a better image quality, bigger lenses, which is nice. But you're also getting 10x zoom now, which is awesome for the base iPhones. So before we were at 5x for many years, now we are at 10x, which is still cool. And you have the 0.5x still there. You have video mode, you have cinematic mode too, which is really awesome. Slow mode, time lapse, standard portrait mode. You have a lot of good camera quality here, which is something I love seeing. So from something like the iPhone 15, this is definitely the better camera for sure. And if you're trying to look for the best camera, this is definitely a better camera than the iPhone 11. So what is the consensus here? Is the iPhone 15 better than the iPhone 11? Well, clearly, the iPhone 11 is the older phone here. It's definitely not as good of a phone as the iPhone 15. The 15, you're getting better build quality for sure. Maybe not the strongest build quality, but still better. A better display, dynamic island. You're getting USB-C. You're getting a better camera, MagSafe. You're getting just a better phone pretty much in every single area. It's a better phone. The iPhone 11, though, surprised me. I think it's a good phone for the price. And even when compared from the performance side to the iPhone 15, it really wasn't that slow. Like, it's definitely slower, but it's not like a big difference in my opinion. So if you have an iPhone 11, I would just either keep it or go up to something like an iPhone 13 or 14 in the used market. The 15 actually is a pretty good upgrade too. So if you want to go for it, I'd say do it. But that's kind of how both these phones kind of compare. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.